With former President Trump campaigning in battleground North Carolina overnight, his longest-serving chief of staff, John Kelly, delivering a dire warning about a possible second Trump presidency in a series of interviews with the New York Times. When asked whether he thinks Mr. Trump is a fascist,
he's certainly an authoritarian, admires people who are dictators. He has said that. So he certainly falls into the general definition of fascist, for sure.
Kelly says he was motivated to speak out following Mr. Trump's comments about using the military against domestic political opponents, who the former president calls the enemy within.
Yeah, they are, to me, the enemy from within.
Even to say it for political purposes to get elected, I think it's a very, very bad thing, let alone actually doing it.
Kelly also discussing Trump's relationship with veterans, confirming that Trump has called those who died on the battlefield, quote, losers and suckers, and saying the former president did not want to be seen with amputees.
Is not wanting to be seen with amputees that lost their limbs in defense of this country. That's an interesting perspective for the commander-in-chief to have.
Kelly also confirms reports that Mr. Trump repeatedly spoke highly of Adolf Hitler.
He commented more than once that, that Hitler did some good things, too.
In a statement, the Trump campaign saying Kelly, quote, has totally beclowned himself with these debunked stories he has fabricated. According to a recent report from The Atlantic, not confirmed by NBC News, Mr. Trump made other comments about Hitler during a private conversation in the White House, according to two people who heard him at the time, saying, quote, I need the kind of generals that Hitler had, people who were totally loyal to him, that follow orders. The Trump campaign says the former president never said it. While Trump was back on the offensive overnight on the trail after condemning Harris for not holding events yesterday while she conducted interviews.
She's lazy as hell.
Later in North Carolina, launching a barrage of attacks, suggesting without evidence that Vice President Harris abuses alcohol and drugs.
Does she drink? Is she on drugs? I don't know.
Meanwhile, Garrett, in his latest attempt to try to boost his standing with young male voters in particular, we're hearing that he's expected to appear on one of the biggest podcasts in media. What more can you tell us about that?
Yeah, that's right, Craig. The Trump campaign has made podcasts and streaming programs popular with young men, really a core part of their messaging strategy. There's no podcast more popular with young men than the Joe Rogan Experience. Trump will now sit down with Rogan Friday in Austin for a long-awaited interview. The goal here for Trump is to take young men who might feel favorably towards Trump, they might be pro-Trump guys, and make them into actual Trump voters. It's a challenge his campaign has set out on for months. Rogan is kind of the icing on the cake here, the last big podcast of that kind that they have not gotten Trump on so far.
All right, Garrett Haake for us there in battleground North Carolina. Garrett, thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't miss the Today Show every weekday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific on our streaming channel, Today All Day. To watch, head to today.com/allday or click the link right here.